that shit. Appearance. No. Go into Mevo source on OBS, then click on one of the other Mevo things in it. What? That's not helpful. Just view a place with the URL they have to put in there. Yeah, this is OBS.
Yeah.
And I click on the other Mevo things in OBS. Yeah, that's what I am.
I can click on one of the.
That's this.
Yeah.
Where? That's this is the same thing. Where? This? Oh, that.
Yeah.
I think that's for. Oh wait, this.
Yeah, and right under Mevo.
This is for audio stuff. Yeah, I think. Yeah, block volume, hide all. Thank you though. Yeah, I don't think.
Welcome to Lehigh University Hockey. George Mason Patriots at the Lehigh Mountain Hawks.
We're setting up a second camera here now. Hopefully it'll be up soon, but for now we got this one angle for you.
Okay. Berghardt takes a shot and it's saved off rip. The camera setup's messing with the audio for a little bit at the beginning of this broadcast, but we will get that fixed shortly. The Mountain Hawks won last night's game against the Army by a score of 6-4, looking for a second straight win here at Steel Ice Center in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. On the face-off in the attacking zone, Lehigh wins. It's getting chased into the corner. George Mason takes it the other way. Dumps it deep into the zone. That was Chandler Lynn. A battle on the boards behind the net. Burkhart knocks it free. Gets it up to Jesse Heinberg, the team's second leading goal scorer. Heinberg takes it up the ice. A pass across the middle towards Matthew Nasinovich is wide. His shot then goes into the corner boards. George Mason on the attack. They send it up, and it goes down the other end of the ice for an icing. There'll be a face-off in the offensive zone for Lehigh. Here on Greek Day, their goalie, Dimitri Kondalis, represents the Greek heritage team. So getting a start behind one of the flags for his nation. Lehigh wins the face-off, and George Mason dumps it out the zone. George Mason has a 2-on-1 the other way. The pass across to Pettit. Pettit sweeps it across the middle. The puck gets knocked out. It was a swift play. It was Mason Goldstein keeping it out of the net. Now Lehigh has it down at the other end. There's a whistle at this end of the ice.
All right, looks like we got our other camera up and running, so I will switch between both angles and both sides of the ice as quickly as I can to get you guys the best angles possible. But for now, thank you so much to Will for giving us some awesome play-by-play.
Yeah, thank you, Milena.
Please keep it up. Yes,
Makes
so
it
we can
easy.
do this together.
It's Morgan Waddell on the faceoff for Lehigh. He gets it in. It's swept out of the boards. It just gets past the blue line. It's regrouped by Lehigh. Sweeping across the boards here is Max Toomey. It's knocked off his puck. Pettit takes it for George Mason. They'll reset and send it up the ice. It's swept out of the Lehigh defensive zone. They're taking it up the ice. It's Max Toomey with the puck here. Cross it across the middle. A backhand shot is kicked away. They'll reset once again. It's Toomey back behind the net. Carrying the puck is Devin Goshiak, who dishes it back to Toomey. A centering attempt is knocked awry. Toomey regathers in the corner.
Ooh, bit of a check there.
Great. And George Mason swings it out of the boards. It's regathered by Ted Justice before being sent out. George Mason dumps it in once again. Kondalis back to play the puck. And bring it up out of the zone. Here, shot is sticked into the netting. It's out of play. This is George Mason's third game of this weekend. They lost each of the last two nights. They lost to Westchester and William Patterson each of the past 2 days. Lehigh has the puck behind the George Mason net. Swept around, a big check on the sideboards. It allows Farley to skate up the ice uncontested, and Kondalis regains possession at the net. Kondalis is part of the Greek heritage team that took Argentina in the Latam Cup, a tournament for Latin American nations and other up-and-coming nations in hockey, to 10 overtimes, games in which the Greek team won. Greece is among many nations pursuing recognition from the IIHF as an official hockey nation. This face-off in the neutral zone is swept. Shot is quickly sent on net, and it's covered up. It's another offensive zone face-off for the Mountain Hawks. It's Ryan Carr on the face-off for Lehigh. George Mason team wins it back, sends it out of the boards. Pilar sends it across to the captain. That's Quinn Alley. And there's a whistle for a face-off that'll take place in the neutral zone on the Lehigh defensive side. Big hit in the back by Timothy Morisco to try to keep possession for George Mason. They take it around the blue line. No offsides called. Sweeping around the net was Axel Lindquist for Lehigh, who's getting pressured in the corner boards now. The puck is swept all the way out of the zone. George Mason will be forced to regroup. It's dumped in on net. Condolis plays it to the side. With the puck battle in the corner boards, it's two George Mason players against one for Lehigh. They're taking it up the ice now. It's the Mountain Hawks in the offensive zone. It's senior captain Nick Cataray on the attack. Before it's dumped off for George Mason, Lehigh regathers at the line. It's swept in deep by Dylan Gagliardi. And George Mason has a chance to regroup once again. It's then sent across the center ice line again, as Lehigh's gonna be on attack. It's sent back behind the boards, behind the Lehigh net.
No icing there.
And taking it up the ice here is Jesse Heinberg, the team's leading goal scorer. Sends it across the net. It's missed. And it's back behind the net once again. It's Ferdinand Burkhardt on attack. Now in the corner is Yahav Barak, the defenseman, who sweeps it all the way around the boards. To no Lehigh teammate. It's swept back to the George Mason defense. Wyatt Hinkson clears the zone, and Burkhardt on the regather. Up the ice carrying it now is Matthew Nasinovich. Scored a hat trick 2 weekends ago against West Virginia. The words is yeah, good pass heading into the offensive zone from Heinberg. It's Pettit of George Mason sending it deep. Once again, Lehigh's able to regather. Oh, the bench is calling for an offsides on that entry into the zone. None called. Max Toomey for Lehigh is skating it out the boards. He dishes it off to Morgan Waddell. Waddell skating into the zone, fighting off a defender. Continues to pursue around the net. It's picked up on the side by Ted Justice. It's loose and it's sent out back into the neutral zone. The goaltender for George Mason, tagging Lamb, plays it out, but it's intercepted by Lehigh. Lehigh's making a rush, or making a play set up into the offensive zone. A shot on net is gloved away. The puck is loose. And it's swept out of the zone. Sending it back in was Axel Lindquist. Lim plays the puck.
Quick subs here for both teams.
And it's intercepted right in the center of the ice. Moving in the shot on forehand is saved off the right foot of Lim.
Lehigh trying to keep it on their half.
Yeah, it was Devin Goshiak with an incredible scoring chance, the first one of this game for Lehigh. As entering the attacking zone is Kaprov of George Mason. It's sticked aside by Condolis. And taking it up once again, Lehigh sends it into the boards. Lim covers up. It'll be a face-off in the Lehigh offensive zone.
Definitely equally matched here.
Totally. A scoring chance for each team so far at the beginning of this game. To no avail for either one. It was a big giveaway right in the offensive zone for Lehigh. Right down the slot. After the face-off, George Mason retains control in their defensive zone. I think that's the third time I've confused historical figures named George from schools in the DC metro area. And they'll have one more shot to regroup once again here in the defensive zone. Thank you. Flylar sends it or tips it deep into the offensive zone for George Mason to negate the icing. And they'll gather once again. It's Fisher on the puck, back to Plylar. Skates it up through the neutral zone. Kaprov with a nice pass as he's getting hit. But it squeaks all the way down to the ice for Condolis to play the puck. Now up the ice is Burkhart. He's taking on 3 defenders. It gets on net and Lim covers up with no foreseeable passing lane for him to get to. The Greek goaltender for the Mountain Hawks, Dimitri Kondolis, has the second best goals against average and the best save percentage among all ECHA goalies with at least 6 appearances. It's a big division matchup with teams separated by just a couple of points.
George Mason won the face-off there. Both teams kind of fighting for the puck now. Lehigh ultimately gets it.
There's a shot on net that's deflected. The shot was by Ted Justice. And a battle between Morisco of George Mason and Nick Mulder of Lehigh ends up out of play behind the George Mason bench. There'll be another face-off in the Lehigh offensive zone. Lehigh's had a lot of offensive face-offs, but George Mason has won several of them. The opportunity's not necessarily coming, but that one's won by Burkhart, and a shot on goal is kicked aside. It's swept all the way around the boards, is kept in by Justice. Burkhart rips a shot on net, and they score! I believe it was tipped in by Matthew Nasinovich, and he leads the line of fist bumps on the bench. It is a 1-0 lead for Lehigh here. A goal from Matthew Nasinovich on the assist from Burkhart. Burkhart was one of the goal scorers in yesterday's game against Army, and now picks up an assist. And the Mountain Hawks take a 1-0 lead here, 9 minutes into the first period. And Lehigh has the chance once again in the offensive zone. Sticked away to the corner boards. There was a good opportunity there for Morgan Waddell. It's behind the Lehigh net now. A shot on goal is sticked aside by Lim. A big hit here on the corner boards against Nicholas Cataray. Tom of George Mason sweeps it around outside the boards. Lehigh retains possession. There's Nicholas Cataray sending it deep again. Gathering behind the net is George Mason. It's flicked high up and hits the ceiling of this ice arena.
Here at the Steel Ice Center, just right off campus here at Lehigh. It's very nice that we get to play here. There's the face-off.
There's a whistle on the face-off.
Not sure what happened there. All right.
No matter. There'll be a regrouping. And it's Morgan Waddell taking the face-off for Lehigh. against Tyler Rothelmund of George Mason. Referee drops the puck.
Lehigh won it there.
All right.
George Mason has the puck.
Taking it into the offensive zone was an attempt by Gagliardi before it's cleared out by George Mason. Back, it's sent up. Here, taking it into the offensive zone is Waddell. Waddell sends it across. It's sticking to the side by Lim once again. Fisher skating in the defensive zone for George Mason. Sends it up, and it's all the way back into the Lehigh corner. In pursuit on the far boards, Lehigh skating left to right here. Firing across the ice with Barak with the clear. It's in pursuit of Toomey. Toomey gets bodied off the puck. Once again, a great swim move to get behind the net and find open space. Toomey sends it across the middle. Justice in pursuit there. Following into the corner, it's skated around once again here by Devin Goshiak. Goshiak looking for room across the middle. A shot is blocked in front. A wraparound shot is also blocked here.
Lehigh's definitely dominating in shots on goal with 19 and George Mason with 4.
That's such a crooked number for only 11 minutes into the first period, but if the scoreboard does not deceive our eyes. As the captain for George Mason here, Quinn Alley starts one by passing it off to his D partner, Pilar. Karpov of George Mason sending it deeper into the zone. A charge on net goes wide and around the boards. George Mason regathers a shot on net from all the way back to the blue line. It's an easy save for Condolis.
Hawks are doing a good job of keeping the pressure on the other side of the ice, protecting their goalie the best they can. With only now 5 shots on goal.
Yeah, absolutely. This Lehigh team has a strong defense, a lot of big bodies back there. And they'll use some of them to take it out of the zone here. Charging up into the offensive zone in pursuit in the corner was Ryan Carr. It's knocked behind him to Karpov of George Mason. Karpov is being checked by Samperiotis, another Greek member of this Lehigh team. In pursuit is Samperiotis is in pursuit on the side of the boards, but it's knocked out of the zone. Farley of George Mason charges into the offensive zone.
Trip up there.
Big pile of 3 bodies there. The puck squeezes to the front of the net, and it's an easy backhand for Pilar.
No obscenity is allowed on our broadcast. I apologize. That's my fault. No won't happen again. But yeah, they just scored. Beautiful move there on George Mason, doing the quick getting of the puck and putting it right in the space where the goalie initially moved to save it on the other side. Yeah. So scores now 1-1.
Yeah, it's 1-1. We're about 12 and a half minutes into this game. It was a nice dangle move around the body of Condolis, who is having an incredible season thus far. This is his 7th start. He's 3-2 in those games with a 2.49 goals against, and is also tied for 2nd in wins in the Eastern Collegiate Hockey Association. Taeyang Lim, the goalie for George Mason, is not having a bad season himself. He's 2-0 with a 2.00 goals against average and a .934 save percentage. With all these shots, the .934 save percentage isn't that non-reflective of how this game has gone as Lehigh sets up an offensive attack. There was a shot out there that went into the corner boards. George Mason's taking it the other way. It's a 3-on-1 that goes into the corner before being swept up by Lehigh. Taking it out of the zone is Matthew Nasinovich. Nasinovich charging in. He's looking for a body. He trips, but still gets the pass off to Jesse Heinberg. Heinberg A puck battle on the corner with Morisco. Sent across, a great takeaway by Burkhart. Burkhart to the center of the ice. It was a shot by Heinberg that was kicked away. Heinberg has it once again behind the net. He sends it towards the middle, back for Burkhart, who can't find a shot. A lot of bodies on George Mason in the way. And we have a whistle here. Very clearly disappointed is Matthew Nasinovich with the call against him. It will be a George Mason power play here with 6.5 minutes to go in the first period.
Still a big difference between shots on goal. Lehigh with 22, George Mason with 7, but ultimately the score is 1-1 and George Mason now on power play.
Yeah, big chance here. It looks like it was a tripping call. On the defensive zone, it's Waddell who loses the faceoff for Lehigh. A shot for George Mason goes all the way down
Mount
to the
Hawks
left
could
corner.
try to clear it now. Yep.
And they do. They send it the length of the ice. It's played by Lim, who sets it off to Schaefer for a second George Mason attack. Toomey knocks Schaefer off the puck. That was a great play to knock off a couple more seconds of that power play. It's all the way back in the George Mason zone once again. Haven't gotten much going here yet. Up and into the offensive zone was the assistant captain, Matthew Price. A shot's on goal from Andrew Farley, and it's covered up by Condolis. About 39 seconds gone by on the power play. It's Ryan Carr who won the faceoff. The attempted clear is blocked by the line by George Mason. Setting up is Schaefer with a shot. It's blocked in front. A second chance opportunity is denied as well. It's Schaefer at the puck at the point once again. Near the left circle is Thorne, who rips it wide. One more time. It's fired and it's gloved aside by Condolis. Schaefer is back to regather. A lot of puck possession by Matthew Price on that one once again. Schaefer gathers in. It's kicked aside to the right by Condolis. It's back at the blue line for George Mason, who sets up one more attack. And it clears the zone. That was tipped out by Nicholas Cataray. It goes all the way down behind the net for Lim to play. And skating up the ice is Morisco. Into the offensive zone, gathers around the net. A centering shot is either blocked or with the left shoulder of Condolis or one of the Lehigh defenders. It's then gathered by Rothermud back in the George Mason zone. Petit skates up into the offensive zone. But as power play time is nearly expiring, a shot from the blue line is blocked. That was Nasinovich.
I think the power play is over.
I do think it's over. Nasinovich is out of the box. He came out and first made that block. Good call.
Ooh, shot attempt there. Great save.
We have another whistle as well. With about 4 minutes to go. The net has been knocked off of its bearings. It's a face-off to the right of Condolis. Lehigh wins it. It's taken out of the zone. It was knocked out by Nasinovich. George Mason setting up their attack now. It's sent into the zone by Markowitz. Big hit in the corner. Nasinovich working with Barak to get control of the puck here. They finally do. Oh, and then it's overtaken by George Mason.
A dangerous pass there right
Inside
in the
blue
middle.
line. Yeah, dangerous cross-ice pass there. That's right. But now Lehigh takes it out of the zone. It's Nasinovich and Burkhart in a 2-on-2. Burkhart weaving around, bobbing, sending it back to the blue line. Or sending it in deeper into the zone. It's Nasinovic here. He crosses it to the middle. The shot on goal just squeaks past the posts to the left. And here it's Ted Justice who sends it near the net. It's knocked away to the side. There was an attempted pass for Nasinovic.
3 minutes left to go in the first here.
A good sweep to keep it into the zone by Jesse Heinberg, the team's goals leader with 6. Skating up the ice one more time is Nasinovic. Burkhart with a backwards pass there. That was to Heinberg. Just missed the mark. Sincola goes to trap the puck in the defensive zone before sending it across to Justice. Justice clears the offensive zone. This Lehigh team has done a very good job of spreading themselves out over the ice, encompassing a lot of area to be able to take the puck away in a lot of necessary circumstances. Here they're taking it into the offensive zone. It was Connor Wolfart, another one of yesterday's goal scorers, who sends it all the way across the boards. Possession is taken by Lindquist, who sends it across, and a shot.
Gloved.
Wow. Yeah, Catteray shot there is saved. He's been very involved with the defenseman on the attack so far early in this game. This pass is won back by George Mason. George Mason setting up an attack across the blue line. It's Schaefer. Schaefer with a full head of steam puts it on net. It's stick to the side by Condolis. It's then regathered by Schaefer, who puts it on net once again. He's been all over early in this game, and it's covered up by Condolis.
George Mason is definitely catching up here with shots on goal. Only down by 10 now. You know, we're definitely seeing it more on their half of the ice towards the end of the first period here.
These are some very highly inflated shot on goal numbers. This is unique to this high level of hockey. It's taken into the offensive zone. There's control sent across the Lehigh zone. There's a shot on goal there from Catteray. It sweeps back to the blue line. It's Gagliardi. Gagliardi flicks it in. It goes wide to the side, and it's regathered and sent out by George Mason. The clearing pass is intercepted by Gagliardi. Just inside the Lehigh offensive zone. It was lost, and George Mason took it. A nice play, clearing it by Pettit, but couldn't retain possession for the attack. Skating across and sending it in is George Mason. Condolis goes back to play the puck, at least stops it for the time being for his teammate. Skating and clearing up the ice. The attempt was unsuccessful. It's Petit back for George Mason into the offensive zone. It's taken around and then regathered. Here, Lehigh's taking it up the ice. They have a 2-on-2.
Less than 30 seconds now in the first period.
Samperiotis shot across is missed. Flicked in on net by Zach Knopp, but it's an easy save for the goaltender, Lynn. There's one more whistle with about 16 seconds to go here in this first period. Milena, what do you think Lehigh's going to have to do in the second period to get that lead back?
I mean, they got to come out playing like they were in the beginning. Definitely keep the pressure up on the other half of the ice. Make sure that, you know, as you were saying, they keep spread out throughout, but also making sure that they have protection back there for their keeper. So they don't have that opportunity again where George Mason kind of stormed through the front and just had that wide open net.
Absolutely. They really did. So the good sides and the bad sides of being spread out, they were able to find the seam right there. It did still require a very nice maneuver, swim, dangle around the goaltender to find the open half of the goal, who's really caught off guard. So it is important to stay disciplined despite wanting to have a spread out level of hockey.
Yeah, it's nothing really Condolius could do there.
And there's another icing on George Mason, perhaps. Uh, some emphasis on defense right here for 3.3 seconds. There's a sense of urgency just to get this period over with. Should they need to clear the ice once again, they will not complain. The puck is dropped. They'll retain possession in the defensive zone, and that is the end of the first period. So after one, it is 1-1 between George Mason and Lehigh. And the second period should be beginning in about 15 minutes.
Don't go anywhere. Sorry, I know you're kind of doing play-by-play now, and I'm doing color. Well, you're doing better than I would ever, so as long as you're okay with it, I'd like to keep it like this.
Sure, I'll keep
As long as you're comfortable. Okay, you're doing awesome. I did not prepare well also, and obviously you did.
yeah, like
I was worried about
I
it.
wanted to talk about.
Good.
I put a lot together the first time I did it.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that there were no breaks at all.
They came to you guys so close at one point. I was like,
I know.
I was like, oh my god, no. Yeah, no, it's the best part. I would sense up so quickly. Like I was like,
You were saying?
Oh yeah. Like I didn't realize that there were absolutely no breaks. Like they play straight. Like I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
like really-
No, I know. You just gotta find those spaces in between.
for example, Greek night. I knew that.
Mm-hmm. Which is super cool.
Yeah, I guess I thought it was like Greek life.
I did too
Not.
the first time, yeah. Ah,
How you doing in the cold department?
better now that I have the hand warmers. It was really my hands that were like hurting. But Welcome back, everybody. Here to start the second period. Facing off the center of the ice. We don't have the best camera angle of that, but we'll try to announce it best we can.
The face-off is won here by Berghardt. It's won back behind the blue line. It's sent all the way across into the attacking zone. George Mason will take it and send it deep. It's tipped in by Rothermund. There's no icing. Across the ice by Justice to Berghardt. The intended target was missed. It's Berghardt taking it out the other way. It's a 3-on-3 taken across towards the center of the ice. The shot by Heinberg goes into the corner. Heinberg is in pursuit once again. He's bodied off a nice big check there in the corner by Berghardt. But Schaefer's taking it 1-on-2, weaving through the center of the ice. Justice goes down. It gets covered by Condolis. A great solo attempt by Schaefer.
During this break, we were reminded that this team was the one that knocked out our Mountain Hawks last game. Will, if you want to talk more about that.
They did. In the first round of the ECHA playoffs last year, George Mason defeated Lehigh 6-1 at a neutral site in Westchester. All time, Lehigh is 3-5 with 2 ties against George Mason, but 3-1-1 at home. So hoping to build on good history there, as there's a puck battle in front of the net. This one goes wide. It's backhanded by Toomey all the way across to the center of the ice. Taking it down the middle and back to Toomey before it's knocked out of the zone there. George Mason regrouping. Toomey pressing. The pass up to Karpov. Karpov sends it into the middle. It's intercepted by Waddell. Waddell sends it deep into the boards for a dump and chase. Markowicz of George Mason tries to send it up. It's blocked by Toomey. And Markowicz has possession of the puck. This one's loose and swept up. The attempt to get it out of the zone was blocked. It's Toomey sending it back in around the corner boards. George Mason attempting to pressure it out of the zone. It was a great job keeping it in by Axel Lindquist. Now it's George Mason skating up the ice. Lilar sends it deep all the way around the boards. It's sent up by Lindquist. Lindquist has it in pursuit by Genesis of George Mason. A shot on goal, a backhand by Timothy Morisco is wide. The puck ends up all the way on the other side of the ice. It'll be an icing against Lehigh. These teams are only 4 points apart in the ECHA standings. Though Lehigh has played 4 more games than George Mason has at this point in the season. So relatively evenly matched teams. It'll be Morisco of George Mason taking the face-off against Goshiak, a freshman for Lehigh. And he's kicked out of the face-off circle as well. There were 2 players kicked out of the circle there. No matter for Morisco who wins it back. It's blocked by Toomey, who tries to take it out of the boards. There's a 3-on-3 for Lehigh. It's sent in by Lim. Lim kicks it into the corner where Toomey's the first man there. Toomey skating up towards the blue lines. The attempted keep in by Yahav Barak is unsuccessful. It's sent up the boards. Skating into the offensive zone, there's a stick flying. It was knocked out of the hands of one of the George Mason defenders. It flew into the air. And now being escorted to the penalty box, likely for interference, is Connor Wolfhart. And George Mason will have their second power play of the day. The face-off is to the left of Condolis. The assistant captain for George Mason, Price, against Ryan Carr. Carr wins the face-off. An attempted clear is then stopped by Price crashing into the boards to keep that puck in. There's a scuffle on the right side for the puck. There's 3 George Mason players in one area. They then disperse. It's Price facilitating. Sit down the middle. A shot fired across the center of the ice is then blocked. It doesn't get through. It's Farley in pursuit on the puck. The puck is stationary against the far boards. There's 3 players on each side. It then gets shoveled out to Schaefer, who's had a lot to do in this game. Schaefer sends it back into the far left circle. Skating in, and a shot by Thorne is blocked by Condolis. It's free. Price gathers on the rebound. It's Thorne once again, skating around the net, looking for a lane. It's skated around here by Ransom. Ransom gets it back to Thorne, who has Schaefer wide up top. He elects not to go for him, and now finds his way to Schaefer. The shot is stick to the side for another regrouping try. Schaefer quarterbacking this whole power play. A pass.
First successful clear of the penalty with about 30 seconds to go.
It was a good clear. It was Ryan Carr getting it out of the zone there. And then this one sent the length of the ice to kill much of what time remained on this power play. It's Schaefer sending it across to Petit for one last attempt to score on the on
Just
offense.
wide there.
There's a shot just wide, crashing into the net. Was Tyler Rothelmund.
Gosh.
The puck comes mere inches from our faces off the glass. I hope you brought your protective goggles. And George Mason has another shot into the zone. The puck gets all the way around. Out of the box is Wolfhart. And Lehigh sets up a counterattack. Skating in, the shot on goal goes off the left shoulder of Lim. And now a 2-on-2 developing for George Mason. Now 3-on-2 for Lehigh.
Cover there.
The shot wide was covered. I haven't noticed either of the 2 season point leaders for George Mason on the ice today. That'd be George Goodwin and Dylan Chun with 18 and 11 points respectively. Goodwin also has 8 goals on the year. I can't imagine why they're not on the ice today.
Hopefully it's not due to injury.
Hopefully not. So we're seeing some other members step up. The defense have been playing quite terrific offense in this game.
Definitely helps the Mountain Hawks get a little edge over them.
Totally. And this one's skated out of the zone with Lehigh in control of it is Jesse Heinberg. He gets sent around the net, regathered by George Mason. It's Plylar skating it around the net. It's a quarterback this attack. It's taken here by Berghart in the offensive zone. A bad giveaway. But to no benefit of Lehigh as this one gets sent all the way back into the Lehigh defensive zone. It's Karpov in pursuit. Pilar gets it in the circle. This one's sent out, regathering for George Mason. Quinn Alley sends it deep into the corner. It's Price in pursuit. He's pressing Justice. And this one's scraped out by Lehigh. Skating it out the other way was Ryan Carr. Now in the defensive zone, it's Cataray being pressured. Here, it found its way to the George Mason offense. As Plylar. They now have it still. A Hinkson shot finds its way to Condolis for a very easy save.
Definitely seeing some more aggression from George Mason in this period. Definitely dominating on their half of the ice this time.
I would agree. They're really using their bodies to keep pucks in, to keep the Mountain Hawks attackers off of the puck. It's an important skill to be able to use their bodies like they are.
Absolutely, yes. And now they have 24 shots on goal compared to Lehigh's 30.
Price gets kicked out of the circle for the face-off. It's Thorne stepping in against Carr. It's one back to Markowicz.
Quick shot there, wide.
A quick shot. A nice pullback to retain possession and get two George Mason defenders going in the complete opposite direction.
Yeah,
That
it
was
good fake.
Cataray. Great fake to get this offensive attack set up. This one's dumped in by Lindquist. In pursuit on offense is Samperiotis. Samperiotis sends it across to Carr, who tipped it without retaining control. It's sent into the corner. It's now Lindquist who's being forced to skate all the way around. It was Ransom of George Mason with some more great pressure. It's then sent and played by Lim. And then sends all the way up the boards to Schaefer. Schaefer can't control the puck. It gets by the stick of Hinkson, and it's Toomey in the offensive zone. Now it's Lehigh across the middle. There's a great blocked shot by Price.
Ooh, looks like he's injured there,
Yeah,
staying down. Oh, he's up.
Really shaken up on that
Yeah.
play, walking gingerly. An incredible
Oh,
job putting his body on the line there to make that block shot.
fortunate let up there by Lehigh. Schaefer takes advantage, puts pressure on.
Taking it into the offensive zone is Morgan Waddell. Morgan Waddell's shot is blocked by Lim, and it's into the corner. Waddell looking for room, sends it across to Toomey. Toomey behind the net is staved off the puck, and it's George Mason in control now. Dumps it all the way around the ice. Condolis plays it behind the net. Has it for Gagliardi, who sends it to Toomey. Schaefer's pass deep into the zone is kicked by the ref. It was put on an absolute tee for his offensive teammate.
Can the ref do that?
Well, you would think not on purpose, unless he has something under the table on this game. It's behind the net with Schaefer once again. It's Tom in the corner getting pressed by two Lehigh players. And skating it around the net, taking it out, was Devin Goshiak. And Goshiak found Toomey coming down the right side, but it was an easy save by Lim. About 9 minutes gone by here in the second period. It still is a 1-1 game.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting play by one of the refs. Seems like it was an instinct, maybe. Just put his skate out and kicked it down.
Oh, I forgot what team he was on. It's an offensive face-off in the Lehigh offensive zone is not one. It's taken by Janesis all the way around behind the net before he's been knocked off by the puck. Into the offensive zone is Goshiak.
Shot right at the pads.
Shot a very simple save.
Definitely some more back and forth action now.
Totally. Minus the power plays and one other icing. Not many stoppages in this half. In this period. Ted Justice takes the puck to quarterback this attack. He sends it up to Goshiak. Goshiak, it's a 3-on-2. It's sent across the side. Lim knocks it away. Following up was Nasinovich. Nasinovich puts it wide. It's easily pursued by George Mason. It's sent out of the zone. Lehigh retains possession and sends it in. They'll have to escape the zone to avoid the offsides. And that was cleared all the way up the ice. No Mountain Hawk had the wherewithal to get a stick on that puck when they very logically should have. It's now Karpov in the offensive zone trying to find room. He then retains it with a nice play between Burkhart's legs. It's Fraley who puts it on net, saved by the right pad of Condolis. And this one's all the way around the net. It's Cataray there to pick up. This one's chipped in across the center ice line to Fraley. Fraley sends it across. It's intercepted there by Nasinovich. And Lehigh takes it up on offense now. It's Heinberg taking it into the offensive zone, but an offsides called. Samperiotis could not get himself back on sides after it was initially knocked off of the stick of Heinberg. It'll be A face-off in the neutral zone here, right in front of the broadcast booth. Once again, it's Carr and Price taking the face-off. Carr wins it back for Lehigh. It goes,
Bounced off the wall.
yeah, a really big carom there. Goes all the way into the Lehigh zone. And this one's taken back by Lehigh across the center of the ice. It's Samperiotis keeping it in to Carr. Carr weaving and dancing. He gets all the way through to the net, but Lynn is able to stick it to the corner. This one gets all the way back to Gagliardi before being sent in further. It's Carr sending it towards Knopf. Knopf sends it around the net. It's Barrick on the retrieval. And George Mason takes possession, skating up the sideboards. It's Hinkson who sends it all the way deep. Condolis plays the puck. It was dangerous. It was sitting right in the front of the net. The first man there was Barrick. And now Lehigh has an opportunity the other way. It's Knopf skating into the zone. The shot on net is saved by the glove of Lim. Over 11 and a half minutes gone by here in the second period. Another person I haven't seen on the ice today is Zach Gruber, the team's goal scorer, the team's leading penalty minute accumulator. Hasn't been on the ice at all so far this game. It's Schaefer for George Mason who takes it, coming off the faceoff. He's moving in with full steam, and he's taken off the puck there by Nick Mulder. This one's then sent all the way down past the red line for another icing. And Lehigh will have to defend the defensive zone here to the left side of Condolis. The second half, George Mason moving from left to right. Lehigh will change face-off takers. Puck drop, it's won by Lehigh. Sharp retrieves it before it goes deeper into the George Mason zone. And then it's retrieved once again by Lehigh. It's Ted Justice. It's swept up the boards. Lehigh should have a 2-on-1 developing, but taken down is one of the attackers, Morgan Waddell. And it was Toomey in on his own when he could have had distance there. Big crash into the boards here on the near side. Escaping the zone with the puck. George Mason has it. It's Schaefer once again. He's everywhere. He sends it across the middle. A shot attempt is blocked by Berghardt. That was a good block there. He's also among the team's goal scoring leaders with 5 on the season. Berghardt. Jesse Heinberg has the team lead with 6, which is top 10 in the ECHA. The face-off in the offensive zone is won by George Mason. It's swept all the way across. Quinn Alley, captain, his shot's blocked. It was a great play by Goshiak, keeping that puck from getting into a dangerous high-traffic area.
Trying to move it up in their half now.
In retention of the puck is Cadaret before making another opportunity. The pass to Goshiak. His shot was kicked away by Alley. And carrying up the zone here is Alley once again. Sends it deep. It's Lindquist. He swings it all the way back around. And it's up the boards to Goshiak in pursuit. A big crash once again. George Mason has it carrying into the offensive zone. It's Fisher in pursuit in the far corner. Fisher and Barrick for Lehigh comes to cover up. It squeaks behind Barrick. And
Sides there.
yeah, it comes just out of the zone.
About 6 minutes left to go here in the second period.
This period really has been flying. There haven't been many whistles.
No, yeah. Still no penalties called yet in Lehigh's favor.
That being said, the power penalty killing unit has been effective. Not too many big opportunities on those two power plays. It comes behind the net here for Condolis. He plays it across, or plays it down for Gagliardi. George Mason has it behind the net. The pass is sent across to Markowicz. The shot on net the shot towards the net never gets there. The puck rolls and rattles along the George Mason bench, and it'll be another whistle. About 5.5 to play here in the second period. It's Matthew Price here for George Mason.
Drop the
Who,
stick.
as a-
Quickly recovers, yes.
Yeah, as a product of dropping that stick, that faceoff was made much easier. Lehigh will take it into the offensive zone. It's across the net, or across the ice to Burkhart. It's there.
Oh,
Heinberg's attempted pass. He had a man, but didn't hit him. He had Barrick with an open side of the net. Retrieve it. Barrick sends it all the way across to Gagliardi. Gagliardi is checked from behind into the boards. There's a stoppage in play here. And being escorted to the penalty box is McAllister Markowicz. Oh, excuse me. He was just being escorted to the bench by the referees. No power
yeah,
play.
no power play there.
Nothing called. My mistake.
It's interesting.
I figured after the big check into the boards, there might be something. This one's sent around. It's Carr sending it back. A shot on goal.
Deflected out by their keeper.
Yeah, that was Ted Justice, whose shot was off the paddle of Lim. It'll be a face-off to his right. Carr takes the face-off for Lehigh. He wins it back to Justice. Justice sends it around. An attack was Knopf. Knopf is knocked off the puck, and George Mason has a chance to skate it the other way. It comes all the way around the net. Justice is back there to retrieve it. And now skating the other way is Samperiotis. He has Carr to his left. He weaves to the outside. Knocked off the puck. The George Mason player is knocked down before they begin to prepare pursuit up ice. Samperiotis gets a tip, but it finds its way to Schaefer anyway. Schaefer moving quickly. The pass to Petit is off the mark. And Lehigh has a 2-on-2 developing the other way. Samperiotis' shot is off the hip of Lim. It goes out of play once again.
Lehigh's definitely still taking majority of the shots here. 41 versus 27. They just gotta hit the net.
And they are used to playing some high-scoring games recently. They were swept by Rhode Island last weekend, the first-place team in the division, 6-2 and 5-3, and then lost last night by a score of 6-4. So this is uncharacteristic with how games have gone recently. George Mason has it in the attacking end. This one's sent all the way across to Fisher. Fisher's shot is blocked. It comes back onto his stick. It's then the zone is cleared. Taking into the offensive zone once again for George Mason. The puck is behind the net before it's being swept away by Waddell. Waddell takes it up. And it's offside. It's an icing.
Yep.
Icing call once again.
About 3 minutes left here in the second period. No shots, no goals, rather. Yet with the score still 1 up.
Morisco takes the face-off against Waddell. The shot is blocked by Fisher. And Pursuit taking it one now behind the net. You got Axel Lindquist. Axel Lindquist is checked by the George Mason player. It's sent all the way up the boards off a deflection, negating the icing. Fisher sends it up before it's intercepted here by Mason Goldstein. Goldstein takes it into the offensive zone. It's knocked off of his stick. Cataray sends it back around the net. Lim goes to play it. Goes wide and then skating up for a counterattack. With George Mason, Fisher dumps it deep into the zone. It's off of the stick of his intended target. It's taken up here by Barrick. Oh, Barrick has a wide open lane down the center of the ice. He takes a shot right at the chest of Lim. It's an easy save. There was a good scoring opportunity there. Defenders on each side, but nobody down the middle of the slot. About 2 minutes to go here in the second period. Face off to the right of the goaltender, Lim. It's one towards the Lehigh side. It gets to the middle of the ice.
Good
It
opportunity
was a
there.
great shot for Goshiak, but couldn't find it. It deflected up and into the glass behind him. Price takes it in, full head of steam on offense. He slips, but gets the puck back once again. It's Markowicz who shot on net, never gets towards the net, never gets there. And it's Barrick who takes it up. It's a 2v1. It's Goshiak. Goshiak takes a shot off the glove of the goaltender, Lim. That was a great shot. He had some room on the far side. Knocked all the way around the boards by Mulder. To Justice in pursuit. Justice gets it back. There's a centering try, wrap around.
What a save.
That was a great save. Covered a lot of net there. Was Lim. Cataray in the middle. He's taken down. Right in the middle of the ice was Devin Goshiak. The arm is up for the referee. There's a delayed penalty. 6th skater on.
They're going to try to take advantage now.
Justice sends it up the board. Oh, it comes off of the stick of Nasinovich. And Lehigh will have their first power play opportunity of the game. It was a call on Goshiak, who had a great chance in front with the goaltender missing an action on the other side of the net. And Aaron Stick draws the penalty. Now taking the face off is Jesse Heinberg, the team's leading goal scorer. He's with Nasinovich, he's with Berghart among the top of this unit. A pass sent across by Cataray gets poked away. They'll have to regroup. It's Cataray who sends it all the way across to Goshiak, who drew the penalty. And a great stop here by Heinberg to keep the puck from going all the way to the other end of the zone. Now it's Berghart leading the charge into the zone. It's a dump and chase for him. Goes back to pressure. It's Heinberg who has it on the blue line now. Heinberg gets it to Goshiak. Goshiak's pass rolls towards the front of the net. Heinberg sends it across. Oh, big whiff.
Blocked.
Yeah, it was whiffed on or blocked by Nasinovich. Nasinovich gets it back.
Blocked there
The shot
again.
the shot on goal there by Cataray gets tipped up straight into the air.
Unless they score in the next 11 seconds, it looks like we're going to start the third period with about a minute to go in their power play.
Yeah, so a sense of urgency here for both teams. George Mason, just to kill these 11 seconds without sustaining any damage. And Lehigh operating with nothing to lose. Feeling like they have a good advantage here on the power play. Lehigh wins the face-off. It's in the front of the net. It's resting towards the shin of Lim. It then gets cleared all the way down the ice.
That'll be the end of the second period. Still 1-1. 54 seconds left in Lehigh's power play. Anything else you want to know? Anything you saw here?
Well, I think that these teams are playing a fairly disciplined hockey game, and yet the discipline is coming with a lot of flailing bodies and intensity, in spite of the discipline. But there's a lot of cohesion. I feel like coming from especially counterattacks that I would like to see how they matriculate here into the third period to see which team is going to get the advantage here.
Absolutely, yes. At this point, it really could be anybody's game.
Absolutely. We will be back for the third period in about 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everyone. All right, we still have 54 seconds left here for Mountain Hawks power play. Both teams just regrouping here, huddling up before coming to the center of the ice to face off for the last period. Definitely an intense game going on here. As Will had previously said, could be anybody's game. What are you hoping to see?
I'm hoping to see some physicality. I'm hoping to see some north-south hockey, some real grit and grind, some real leverage being used, both the physics of the stick and by the power of their bodies. As the face-off is won initially by George Mason before being sent into the defensive zone for Lehigh for them to regather. Bringing it up the ice here is Heinberg. Heinberg is coming across the blue line. Looks for room all the way around. It's Goshiak who retrieves that puck. It's Berghardt who gets it and sends it all the way back towards Heinberg. And now George Mason is able to take it up the ice. The puck's out of play. Off the boards, no delay of game, but it will be a face-off to the left of Lim. There are 20 seconds to go on this power play. And it's Berghardt who's going to take the face-off once again for Lehigh. Big tie-up there. There's some of that physicality. It's one back. It's on the blue line. Here.
Shot goes wide there.
And Cataray keeps it from escaping the zone, looking for a lane. He finds Nasinovich, who spin moves it back to Cataray. Cataray down to Berghardt across the middle. It's wide.
Great quick passes there by Lehigh.
Great tape-to-tape movement. A shot or a pass towards the center of the ice by Nasinovich for the forward. Goshiak doesn't get through. It ends up all the way back on the Lehigh defensive end. And quarterbacking is Justice. Once again, Justice gonna do some due diligence to this team. But not right there. It gets intercepted at the blue line. A slap shot is blocked there by Toomey. And a shot by Rothermud. George Mason finds netting. There's a blocked shot by Toomey, but it ended up right on the stick of the goal scorer. That was Tyler Rothermud from Virginia.
I mean, they just kept at it there. Even after the block, they kept their possession and took another shot. And even though they're down by 20 in terms of shots on goals, they're winning by 1.
Yeah, they really did take my aggression message to heart. There was some intense energy on that entire possession that led to them scoring there. Just being in the right spot at the right time after taking an ambitious look at the net, and Lehigh finds themselves down with 18 minutes to go here in the game.
It's crucial now how Lehigh responds to this. They have plenty of game time to go, but a response back in their favor could definitely boost their confidence and morale.
Absolutely. It's like we said, they lost 6-1 the last time they played George Mason in the ACHA playoffs. So this would be an important redemption game for them to get. Now Toomey takes it. It's a 2-on-1 for Lehigh. It gets sent across the zone for Goshiak. Then finds itself back towards Toomey, who can't retain control. And now taking it back up the side is Lehigh. It's Barrick who sends it up towards Goshiak. It's sticked off of him, but Barrick gets it back. He sends it in just past the red line, so there's no icing. Regrouping behind the net is Mark Suich for George Mason. It gets sent up. A great stick, knocking of the puck off the stick by Goshiak. It finds its way all the way around to Wolfhart. And then it's taken back by Wolfhart. Wolfhart skating into open ice. A good stick by Markowicz. And it goes off the pad of Lamb. It comes back to Goshiak. It sends it back. A shot by Lindquist doesn't get through. Goshiak is getting tied up here by Farley. It's now Plylar taking it off the pass from Schaefer. There's a whistle. It may be a hand pass against George Mason.
I mean, this is the kind of aggression I was hoping Lehigh would respond to after the being down by 1 goal now. You know, they're really doing their best to keep the possession, keep it on their half of the ice, and just take as many shots as they can.
I think facilitating an attack, getting their shooters in the right spot is going to be an important part of this half, and finding them when time is appropriate, not at their own will. Taking it into the offensive zone is Carr. Carr's shot on goal is tipped up into the netting. There's the captain, alley, once again, and there will be a face-off to the side of Lim. It's to his left. It's Carr taking the face-off against Morisco. It's won back by Carr. A shot very replicant of what happened just before. It caroms all the way into the corner. Now this one comes all the way around the boards. In pursuit, taking it. There was Cataray. Followed by a big knock into the boards by Samperiotis, and then Cataray shot his gloves to the side of the net by Lim. A lot of sustained offensive pressure here. Not the most effective shots, but many of them are coming their way.
Yeah, I mean, with 51 shots on goal, only one successful so far, you know, they got to have some sort of strategy here aside from just hoping they fly in.
Yeah, something about this 51 number on the scoreboard really rubs me the wrong way. I feel like I'm not keeping track myself. I feel like that number is highly skewed. I'm not sure. Quickly off the face-off, it's covered by Lim once again. There will be another face-off. Stepping in to take it for Lehigh is Masinovich. He goes up against Price. And it's one back for Justice. Justice sends it deeper, takes a big hit by Thorne. And then George Mason is able to retain possession and clear it down the length of the ice. Getting there quickly is Mulder, and it will be a face-off and once an icing, and once again another face-off in the George Mason defensive end. The Lehigh bench is really, really feeling it with their team right here. On the edges of their seat, banging sticks on the bench, cheering on Nasinovich for this face-off, who wins it back. Justice takes possession just at the blue line. A shot towards the net. It comes off the glove of Lim, and then it's skated up the side of the boards by George Mason before being retaken by Justice. He's kept out of the zone. It comes just past the stick of Berghardt. It re-enters the zone for just a brief second, and it's an offside. So finally, a face-off will be occurring outside of the George Mason defensive zone. Yeah, more or less the same unit stays on. Stepping in for this face-off is Waddell, who wins it to Goldstein, who barrels someone over. That's Waddell's shot that goes above the net. Now Goldstein in pursuit. Big physical aggressor there. He is among the team leaders in penalty minutes. Comes back to the net. The shot by Mulder is off. Toomey goes down in front. And an arm goes up. Yeah, Toomey was tripped near the front of the box. It's Daniel Thorne from Ontario going to the penalty box for George Mason. And Lehigh, with just under 15 minutes to go here, is going to have their second power play chance.
It looks like they're going to be even, though. I think, yeah, I'm pretty
you're
sure.
right.
Yeah, Lehigh also has a man in the box.
Yep, that's Max Toomey for Lehigh, who is sent off as well. So we'll have some 4-on-4 hockey here. The face-off is still taking place in the Lehigh offensive zone. Taking the face-off is Wolfhart, who loses. It's taken back for George Mason. Rothelmund, the goal scorer for George Mason here in the third period, is taking it all the way around the net. He sweeps. He dishes it to the front, and he scores. A glorious celly by Schaefer, who's been all over the ice for George Mason in this game. That was a beautiful setup by Rothermund. He took it all the way from his own blue line towards nearly the red line, backhanded it towards the middle, and then chipping it over the goaltender. Was Schaefer there for the goal? It's now 3-1 George Mason here with about 14 minutes to go.
Still 4v4. Oops.
What'd you think about that slip and slide celebration we just saw there from
I mean,
Schaefer?
it was definitely cool from an outside perspective, but I don't know if it's very sportsmanlike.
Oh.
You know, if you throw off your shirt during a soccer game, you know, they get a yellow card or a red card. So I feel like,
Yeah, if you did that here, you'd just get ice burn.
yeah. Well, Lehigh's bench is trying to keep up the spirits, keep up the energy, you know, down by 2.
Yeah, nearly nobody on the Lehigh bench is in their seats at the moment. They're really feeling a sense of urgency to turn something around here. A clapper there from the captain. Quinn Alley is saved by Condolios. There's still a minute and a half to go here in this 4-on-4. It's Price taking the face off here against Heinberg, who wins it for Lehigh. It's then sent out. Fisher keeps it in the offensive half. Then it's taken here by Cataray, who tries to quarterback some kind of movement. Now skating quickly up the ice was Heinberg. Heinberg's weaving through. He has Nasinovich on the side with him. Heinberg behind the back to Nasinovich, and the shot is saved by the pad of Lim. And now it's back the other way for George Mason. It's Alley taking it into the zone. He has Thorne in the middle. But now he's knocked off the puck too. Skating up is Nasinovich, who took the puck for Lehigh. Lehigh gets it back to Cataray. Cataray across to Heinberg. The puck is knocked off of his stick by Price. Now taking it in is Justice. Justice finds Nasinovich back there, who toe drags, and the attempted pass to Cataray escapes the zone. Cataray needs to hold up so as to not draw the offsides. It's now back to Justice. Price chops the puck into right in front of him to keep it in. Now it's Burkhart taking it into the offensive zone. Burkhart sends it to the middle. There's a shot just wide. That was Morgan Waddell with a good opportunity there. And Burkhart is in pursuit of Hinkson. He gets it up to Price, and Price will take it across the red line. Towards the middle, it goes behind the net to Condolios. Burghart's attempted swing across the whole ice is intercepted, but Farley sends the puck out of the zone and out of play with 12:45 remaining. The boxes are empty. And Farley is going to be taking this face off here for George Mason. Lehigh's much more compressed here around the face-off dot than George Mason. Perhaps sensing the urgency, wanting to keep the puck in a certain surface area. But it's won by George Mason to no avail. It's then sent deep into the zone. The palms off the boards and then is covered by Condolios. And the face-off here to the left of Condolios. George Mason wins once again. the battle in the corner. It's escaped on the puck escapes on the stick of a George Mason player. It's now retrieved here on the other side by Lehigh. It's sent all the here across the ice to Wolfhard. Wolfhard skating in. He has a man in the middle, but the puck is knocked away. It's then sent in around by Goshiak.
Sorry, a bit of camera trouble there, but we switched it.
Okay. It's back here on the stick of Gagliardi. Now back to Gagliardi. His shot down low goes wide. It's Goshiak looking forward in the middle of the net. It comes back here to Cataray. Cataray looking for a shot, looking for a deflection. But it goes wide. It's Gagliardi who sends it back around to Goshiak. But it's taken by George Mason and swung out of the zone. Cataray needs to hold back just a minute to avoid the offside, and he negates it.
Yeah, 3-on-1 there. Not much he could do.
Not at all, but a great swim move so as not to draw a whistle. Now, Cataray and Nasinovich are working together. The pass across there from Knopf goes all the way across to nobody. That's Samperiotis who sends it to Cataray. Cataray shot on net is saved easily by Lim. About 11 minutes to go here in the third period. The score is still 3-1.
Lehigh can manage to score here. You know, they definitely still are in the game and have a chance getting it back, you know, pulling the goalie with at least 2 to 3 minutes to go.
You figure you want to get one in the next few to make that possibility a reality.
Absolutely. You can see they're really trying.
It gets all the way back into the Lehigh defensive zone for Cataray. Cataray who sent it around to Lindquist. The two defensemen looking for somewhere to move it
Ooh,
up.
looks like there's going to be a power play in Lehigh's favor, I think.
Yeah, ref has his arm up. And
Said
now
tripping.
here's the whistle. It looks like it'll be a tripping call. Skating to the box is Lance Jasanis.
Right, this could be the break that Lehigh needs.
It really could. You really figure they need to take advantage here. 0 for 2 on the power play. One of which fully in this period, one of which is half in this period.
You can hear the crowd behind us getting excited, getting hyped up.
Both the fans and on the bench, you can cut this tension with a knife. It's going to be a face-off with Jesse Heinberg. He's got Berghardt. He's got Nasinovich. He's got Cataray. And he's got Goshiak.
Tried to stop the clearance there.
It'll instead be played by Kondolios for an attempted skate all the way around. It's Nasinovich moving with a full head of steam. He's got a lot of speed with Berghardt in the center. Calling for the pass was Cataray. Cataray really wants this puck. It doesn't find him. And now gets to Cataray. Looking for a spot in the middle. He passes across to Heinberg. Heinberg back to Cataray. Cataray skating. He gets it back to Heinberg behind the right circle. Back to Cataray. Cataray shot on net to the side by Lim. It's retrieved by Nasinovich. Back to Cataray. Cataray to Nasinovich. Nasinovich's shot. It's blocked. On the retrieval is Berghardt. There's a lot of stagnation. Lehigh needs more puck movement.
Looks like the helmet of their goalkeeper has fallen off, causing an automatic stoppage.
Yeah.
Could be extremely dangerous.
Yeah, the goalies are told to shake their heads should they feel the strap or something else on their helmet loosen, just to not A, distract themselves, or B, risk some kind of injury by not having their mask as secure as it should be. So there'll be a brief stoppage with 1 minute and 3 seconds to go here on the power play.
Lehigh makes some subs, taking advantage of the stoppage time.
It's the second unit on here. It'll be led by Waddell in the face-off circle. And among their leading point scorers, Max Toomey right behind him.
Lim is now, looks like he's back in his gear.
And stepping up for the faceoff is Waddell, who wins it back.
Oh,
It comes across to Justice. Justice does a great job
stop, yes.
putting his body against the boards to keep that puck into the zone, and now it's forced out by Price. Lehigh does a great job of keeping themselves on sides. And now they keep the puck in the zone. It was the teamwork of Toomey and Justice. Now Justice has the puck.
It's a
He
big
sends it the
fight
shot
thing.
by Justice looking for a deflection. But it's just missed by Waddell. It's Toomey back to Justice. He has some open skating room. He dishes it back. And it's found on the stick of Justice again. The shot by Toomey on the open side is saved.
Wonderful play there.
It was. Wolfhart was working well with Toomey. Was working well with Justice. But couldn't find the room.
It's 3-on-5. 5-on-3 right now.
Excuse me, it is. Wow. Just as we come to that understanding. There's a goal for Lehigh. It's Max Toomey who finds netting. It's a 3-2 game here. It kills one of the penalties.
I guess I'm not sure when that happened, but I guess yeah, there were 2 players within the penalty box. Yeah, it was 5-on-3 for Lehigh, and they just scored, giving them a big chance to come back with about 9 minutes to go.
Yeah. And Lehigh wins this face-off. It was Nasinovich who gets it back. It's Burkhart with a full head of steam charging into the offensive zone. He's backed up by Nasinovich. George Mason will now take it and send it all the way deep into the zone. All right, so that was Toomey from Wolfhart on that goal at about 11 minutes of this period. Now it gets sent back again. Here it's Heinberg who has the puck in the corner. He's being helped by Nasinovich. Big body battle by Lindquist on the boards. Nasinovich gets it back, and the shot on goal is saved. With just under 8 minutes to go here. That's Wolfhart's second point on the night. Or afternoon. And George Mason retained possession off of that face-off. They have the puck. They swing it around all the way around the boards. It's then returned in that same direction. Really keeping the Lehigh offense on their toes without having much of a home to stick to. But this one comes free. It's sent around all the way around the boards. Taking the puck is Wolfhart, who just grabbed the assist on that goal. It's then sent out of the zone. Gagliardi for Lehigh dumps it back into the corner. Wolfhart in pursuit. Goshiak now on pursuit. The attempted stick knockoff was didn't get possession of the puck for Lehigh. It'll instead be dumped all the way through by Wolfhart. Lim goes back to retrieve the puck. There was no icing. It's the captain, Alley, who retrieved it for George Mason, and it's Plylar for George Mason now taking it into the offensive zone before it gets knocked off of his stick by the defenseman Justice. Justice's centering attempt towards Toomey ends up behind the net, but it's still Toomey using his body to gain leverage and block off the defender. He's taken down in front of the net. And then a shot by Justice is saved by Lim.
Quickly covered before anyone can get the rebound.
No, we appreciate anyone sticking around to watch us over the Philadelphia Eagles this afternoon. Big lead over the New York Giants, so not like you're missing much. There's some good action here that you cannot get anywhere else in the state of Pennsylvania today. The puck ends up on the middle of the stick for Burkhart. It's Toomey once again. Oh,
gosh, hit the post there.
he did, but the referee's arm is up once again. Toomey may have drawn something as he charged into the net. Is Toomey skating around into the right circle once again. The shot on goal is sticked aside. It's touched up by George Mason.
This could be a big opportunity to tie the game up before even having to pull their goalie.
It will be. And with 6:03 to go, there is another penalty on George Mason. It was James Sharp taking that penalty there. And Lehigh has a prime opportunity to get themselves tied in this game. The faceoff is lost by Heinberg, and it's sent all the way the length of the ice for George Mason, where Kondolios is there to gather, and they'll set up their own attack from here. It's Nasinovich skating up. Nasinovich across to Burkhardt! He scores!
That ties it up with 6 minutes left to go here.
It's a power play goal for Burkhardt.
You can hear the electricity in the stadium.
You can. The primary assist, Nasinovich, and the secondary assist, who really set that whole thing up, was Jesse Heinberg. Taking it all the way from one end of the ice into the offensive zone, making the initial pass that sets up the goal for Burkhardt, who has a slapper.
It is now anyone's game.
That is a beautiful job finding the hole in the glove side. It's 3-3 with under 6 minutes to go here in regulation. Kondolios stops the puck from rolling further. It sent up the boards. It's Cataray behind the net now. Cataray is being pressured by Schaefer. And now taking it up the ice once again is Jesse Heinberg. Jesse Heinberg skating towards two defenders. It ended up back on the stick of Burkhardt, who couldn't find the room with Heinberg on the other side. And now this one is sent all the way towards the other end of the ice. It's Kondolios who covers it up with 5 minutes and a second remaining.
65 shots on goal here for the Mountain Hawks and 35 for George Mason.
That is such an obscene number. I can't get myself over that.
I could tell.
George Mason wins the faceoff. The shot by Tom goes high. In battle on the corner boards, it comes back to Tom, who hits his own man. He hits his own man, and it comes back to Goshiak. Goshiak is then hit from behind. It's knocked off of his stick from Farley. As skating it across was Burke. Oh. The shot by Gagliardi goes just wide. Gagliardi sends it around towards Goshiak. Goshiak's attempted pass for Wolfhart goes off the mark. Skating up the boards, or off the center of the ice, was George Mason's Tom. Barrick with a beautiful spin move to send a defender flying off of him and create space for him to move it up the ice. Justice is going to regather in the defensive zone. And now he starts his pursuit up ice. He sends it across towards Goldstein, and there's a whistle. There will be a face-off in the offensive zone for George Mason, just to the left of Kondolios. Stepping in is Waddell, who's done a great job on the face-off department today. And yet it's won by George Mason this time. A shot from the blue line, just off the face-off, goes in. It's Quinn Alley, whose shot squeaks by Kondolios. A look of dejection on his face.
Just like that, it's a one lead game once again with about 4 minutes to go here. Lehigh still definitely has an opportunity to get back and tie it.
I can't imagine Kondolios was expecting that shot to come, don't you think?
No, definitely not. I mean, it happened so fast, and it was a great shot.
Yeah, so now 3 minutes and 45 seconds for George Mason to hold on to here. Cataray will take it in the defensive zone. Lehigh's got all their heavy hitters out now. It's Cataray who attempts to send it all the way towards Toomey. It just scrapes the ceiling without touching it. Toomey sends it deeper. It comes back to Toomey in the center of the ice. It gets knocked off of his stick, and it finds Lindquist. There was a lot of room there on the left side of the ice that was left open by that battle on the right. It's Toomey here whose attempted pass to Cadere is off the mark. Great. Yeah.
I was just gonna say this is a high scoring period, from 0 in the last one, now 3 in this one.
Well, it's absolutely. And Lehigh is going to need to count on 2 more if they're going to want to keep this one. It's Lindquist who tries to keep it in the zone. It gets off of his stick. Cadere retrieves it after the pressure from Price. And it'll be George Mason regathering with about 2.5 minutes to go. Schaefer's attempted clear is stopped by Heinberg. A big knockdown there. That was a nice hit from Tyler Rothelmund, the second goal scorer for George Mason. With about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, you figure maybe on the next offensive possession is when Lehigh will decide to pull the goalie?
That would make more sense, yeah. And I said 3 before, I meant 5 goals scored.
Yeah, totally. It's Nasinovich on the faceoff, a big one here for Lehigh. He loses it to Petit. A quick clapper from Schaefer goes wide. They feel a sense of determination to keep the puck here, George Mason, so Lehigh doesn't have the chance to go 6-on-5 here. And that one's sent in once again by Rothelmund. In pursuit is Petit. Oh, Petit does a great job of getting it off the stick of Burkhart, and it's Schaefer keeping the puck here. This one's sent up to Nasinovich, but there are 3 George Mason defenders back there to recover. So it'd be a dangerous time to go to the box, given how many George Mason defenders are concentrated in such a small area. That clearing pass is blocked by the hand of Gagliardi. And now George Mason retrieves it again. It gets by Gagliardi as Schaefer pressured him.
And it looks like it's going to be a power play for George Mason, which is not ideal here for the Mountain Hawks.
Oh, yes. Heinberg is being called for a penalty, maybe a hook on the end as George Mason was trying to clear the zone. So the final minute and 45 seconds of this game, Lehigh will spend either shorthanded or without a goaltender. And the faceoff will be in the George Mason offensive zone to the left of Condolios.
Both teams kind of huddle up. Looks like Price will take it for George Mason.
Yeah, George Mason is running straight on adrenaline in this game. They lost 2 games in the last 2 days. This is their 3rd and 3. So they have a lot to play for in terms of pride and making this weekend trip up north worth it. That shot by George Mason ends up wide. It was Schaefer once again. Who else? It's on the stick of Price now. Price works it deeper. Lehigh tried to take possession, but they were knocked off of the puck. And now taking it into the offensive zone for a great, hopeful chance is Lehigh. The goaltender stays in the net. There's a clapper here from Cadere, but it was blocked in front. A takedown on the far boards. No penalty called. Wolfhart was taken down badly. There's no penalty called on it. Unless... Oh,
No, there
they
is a
are.
penalty.
They are
Yes,
sending
they are.
Schaefer to the box for taking down Wolfhart right there.
55 seconds left to go here. And this helps even out the odds a little bit more for the Mountain Hawks.
That was the break that they needed desperately after drawing that penalty initially. Lehigh will take their timeout here to mull over strategy going forward. In these final 55 seconds, what are we going to need to see here for a successful, miraculous comeback?
I mean, the best that they can do is, like you're saying, keeping up the aggression, making quick passes, clean passes too, not trying to bounce them off the wall and let them go wild out because George Mason has been on top of them anytime they've gone past Mountain Hawk. So, just keeping as organized as possible, just having a really set play, crisp passes, and ultimately finding that opening in the net.
Absolutely. I think that having a set play is going to be something exceedingly important. That's most certainly going to be the focus of this timeout. There's been a lot of rambunctiousness, a lot of fluidity in the offensive zone where I feel like something more structured will give them a great chance. And with 55 seconds to go, it's what they'll need. After a good battle this weekend against Army, this team knows that there ain't no mountain high enough and there ain't no valley low enough that they can't overcome and win this game. So the Mountain Hawks setting up on offense. Taking the face-off is going to be Connor Wolfhart against the assistant captain Price for George Mason. He has Cadaray behind him. He has Toomey. He has Burkhart. And he has Goshiak. But loses the initial face-off. And it's Burkhart who gets it to Goshiak in the middle.
Front of the net.
Yeah, Burkhart can't find the shot. Lehigh did pull their goalie, so it's a 5-on-4 with no goalie.
And there's an icing there, so there'll be a face-off back in the offensive zone for Lehigh.
Just where it came from.
It's a 5v4. Lehigh still down a man, but because they pulled their goalie, it's giving them the one-man advantage.
Yeah, a bit of an unorthodox one-man advantage, as that one was won by Price as well. It swept behind him, but kept in the boards by Wolfhart. It just escapes the zone, and Asinovich is going to have to wait for his team to retract out of the zone before coming back in. This one's sent all the way the length of the ice. It goes mere feet wide of the net. It'll be another face-off with 25.7 seconds to go. It's cleared down the length of the ice by Sharp.
Yeah, I mean, Lehigh's doing a good job of trying to pass to each other on both sides, but ultimately George Mason is just putting the pressure on, in their faces everywhere the puck goes.
Yeah, they are really making it seem like the urgency is on Lehigh, where they need to score, but George Mason does not want them to have the puck. But they are letting Lehigh beat themselves, it seems like, the lack of coordination. Sent across here to Goshiak, who has it in the right circle. It's tipped up. The goalie can't find it, but it ends up on the corner boards. And Price is carrying it across center ice with a wide open net. He misses the wide open net with nary a defender in his face. Yet with 5 seconds to go, it appears as if it won't matter. One last desperate heave doesn't even come. And as time expires, that's it for this one.
They fought hard.
They did, but by a final score of 4-3, the George Mason Patriots have defeated the Lehigh Mountain Hawks this Sunday afternoon.
Definitely gave it all they could, that final fight at the end. Ultimately didn't end up in their favor, but, they definitely played their hardest that they could. Ultimately couldn't find that last goal there to tie it up.
He did. Among the greatest traditions in all of sports is happening before us now, the handshake line, following a hockey game in which wills were tested, wits were on point, and yet one team has to come out on top, and that was George Mason today. Who really shined for you today, Milena?
I mean, Schaefer for sure in terms of George Mason's side, but for Lehigh, I gotta say, everyone kind of blew me away individually, and Goldstein had a few good moments. I would say. What about you?
Yeah, I see why Jesse Heinberg is this team's leading goal scorer. He creates some space, creates his own shot opportunities and his own for his teammates in a way that not many people do. He had a key role on that third game-tying goal there that set up Burkhart with that great shot. And then I agree that Schaefer was absolutely the player of this game on both teams. He was moving north-south with a lot of efficiency, creating great shots, getting good opportunities, and facilitating a lot of movement for his team. So, do you have anything else, Milena?
I don't think so. Just stay tuned for future broadcasts with us. This is the Lehigh Sports Broadcasting Club. My name is Melina Sheldon.
And my name is Will Kaplan. Keep
Thank
your
you.
winter gloves handy.
Yes,
We've
thank
got
you
a-
for tuning in.
We do. We have a great winter of hockey ahead of us. Take care.